That's, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, we used to stand on the corner. No, I ain't never really stand on the corner, but we used to hustle all day. Somebody called, they got 50. Somebody called, they got 100. Okay, that's all day transactions hand to hand. So I'm looking at, okay, haircutting. If I could cut 10 hairs a day at $40, that's $400. You know, that's what I started making a shift.
So now that you say that, most people associate, drug dealing with the lack of intelligence, a lack of, understanding logistics, finances, anything like that. The things you just explained, it came from your experience in the drug world.
Right.
At any moment before that, did you realize that you had that skill already to do something legally versus illegally?
Yeah, of course, man. Once I thought about the barbering and then I thought about how much money I was just making in the illegal world, I was like, if I put that same energy towards something legal, I know what I can do, and I looked at, like, I was taught, like I said, at 15, how to sell the stuff. So, and I learned a lot in that little time, from like 15 to 20. I'm like, I learned a lot. So I made a lot of money. So I knew if I took that same energy to something legal, and I knew barbering was it, so I could turn it around.
So what was the first time, once you got all of that and you decided, okay, I can do this legally, I got this. When did the wealthy barber come into play? When did you know that you can start a business? When did you realize that you can take all the skills you learned on the streets plus any skills, other skills you got, and turn it in to the wealthy building barber? The wealth barber, I'm sorry.
At first, the wealth building barber, it came probably a couple years ago, but when I was 20, I think I probably was 25. I had did my time, got out, started back hustling. I went to barber school, and my first best friend got killed, and I ended up moving to Virginia for about a year. I was cutting hair with some guys out there in the shop, and I'm just looking at them. I ain't have a lot of clientele or nothing out there, but I'm just looking at him. I'm seeing how he run his business. I'm seeing how he had to set up, and that's when I knew. I say, man, I can go back home and I can make this happen, because like I'm looking at his shop, how it was set up. I'm like, shit, he probably only paid like probably no more than $5,000 to $7,000 to set that up. So that's when I came back home and I opened my first shop.
So what was the psychological shift like when you realized, okay, you got a shop now, you got a legal business. I can't keep my money under a mattress.
Right.
I can't keep it in a sock
in right.
a house. Was it a shift in your brain to have to deal with banks, loans, financing, and all those things?
Yeah, it was because I had never had a bank account till I probably was about 22 years old. So it was a shift because, like us as young black men, we like to see that cash right there, physical touch it. We like to see it stacked, under the mattress, in the shoebox. So I had to make a change and start dealing with banks, because I know I wanted to go further, and that was part of my process of learning the legal world.
So once you got the barber, you up and running. What was the original name of the barbershop?
The original name was Cutting Up Barbershop.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get out. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember that. That's what I was trying to get out. So once you had all of that up and running, let me ask you this question. Did the book come first or did the stock market come first?
The stock market.
So when and how did your brain go, that's something over there I can do? Because I look at it and it's confusing to me.
Right.
So how did you look at that and you were able to break down that you can maybe master that part of life?
Because, like I said, I've made a lot of money in my lifetime. And like we were just talking about, I used to have my money in the shoebox under the mattress, but once I started realizing, like, I can't save my way to $1 million. You know, that was my goal. I want to hit $1 million. You can't save your way to $1 million, especially in the legit world. You can't save your way. So once I started doing research on like Warren Buffett, you know, Benjamin Graham, I started doing research on how these people got all this money. So and that's when I discovered the stock market, you know, and I was buying little stocks here and there, but I wasn't doing the research on them. I didn't know nothing about that. You supposed to do the research. And I had a client, man. His name Kenzel Rudd. He younger than me, and he came in here one day. I was cutting his hair. He's like, bro, you be buying stocks? I'm like, yeah. He like, bro, you probably be paying too much for them. I'm like, what you mean? They don't be no more than $100. So that's when I started realizing, like, he told me, he started sending me videos, and I started doing research on the stuff that he was sending me. So I was like, that's when it clicked to me, like, oh, it's just like anything else. Once you buy a company in the stock market, you want to get it for a cheap price. Because if the stock market turn around, just say you bought a stock for $50, but it was undervalued at $50. The stock really worth $100. So you bought it at 50. Once it get to that 100, it drop again. You still good because you bought it at 50.
So, listening to you say that, you are explaining that with no flaw. You know it thoroughly. Do you believe that most dudes that come from the illegal world have that training already, but don't know? Like you said, you didn't know what stocks was. You didn't really understand. Do you think they're afraid to put their money over here? Because like we talking about, you got your money in the mattress in the shoebox. You can look at it every day.
Right.
I give this dude $100,000, and you give me some slip back saying I got some stock. How scary is that?
Yeah, it's real scary, but you know, like, I think a lot of people, they need to think about the way I thought about it. The way I thought about it, I'm like, I've risked my life for money most of all my life, you know, so it was like losing a couple dollars to learn something that can make me a millionaire, potentially a billionaire. And I ain't worried about losing no money. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather lose these couple dollars than keep doing what I know to lose my life. Because a lot of people, that's their favorite thing to say. Man, that's all I know. That's all I know. But that all you know can take your life.
And so when you say all you know, and I hear that a lot. And I'll talk to people who are like, man, what you do? Oh, I just work my job. You're like, what you do in the evening? Oh, I just go to the house.
Yep.
You ain't got no extra, you ain't got nothing you do. What is your push every day? Actually, give me a typical Leronzo day from top to bottom.
Okay. Every day, maybe it's not Saturday mornings, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. It used to be earlier than that, but I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, that's my alarm go off. I get ready, you know what I'm saying, put my workout stuff on. By 4:45, me and my wife, we walking out the door, we get to the gym at 5. We work out for about an hour. We go home, we spend our time together, drink coffee and just talk. Then to about 6, probably 6:15, I go get ready. And then by 7 o'clock, you know, no later than 7:30, I'm up here at the barbershop. And from 7 o'clock to 7:30, I'm here till 7 p.m. or a little later, cutting hair. And then I go home and I will go probably do some research. I go home and either read a book, watch a course that I bought, or sharpen up on anything that I'm trying to learn. Because that's what I found out in life, man. The things that you want to learn, you gotta go learn from people that already done it. It ain't nothing that we can guess, you know?
I heard you say all of that. And I ain't hear you say, man, I go home, I work out, me and my wife work out, then we go home, we watch a little TV. I go back to work, I stroll the internet. I ain't hear you say none of that.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Think about, that's why I asked you about a typical day. Because a person's typical day,
Yep, strolling.
It's strolling.
Strolling, brother.
I be in the store, people smack me dead in the face because they strolling, don't even see me walking.
Yep, strolling.
So what do you think happened? Let me re-ask that question. In 2026, in the digital era, moving into AI, will that affect your business?
No, because they say AI gonna replace a lot of people, but I truly believe that people who know how to use AI is gonna replace a lot of people. It ain't the AI, it ain't just the AI. So like I just said, once you see something, you got to go learn that, especially if you got a business.
So do you believe being a barber, because I seen this, I do my own work like anybody else if I do video. So I wanted to see if there was a robotic barber.
Uh-huh.
There is. They have them in New York, LA.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that can replace you or something that you would even consider putting in your shop?
That's what I was about to say. That's what type of brother I am. If that become real big, guess what? I'm gonna have 5 humans over here and 5 of them robots over there. That's just how I am. I'm gonna adapt. They ain't gonna leave me behind.
So you good with the change?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because some people can't adapt.
Yeah.
So they kind of lose their business because they can't adapt. So you would totally have, that just impressed me.
Yeah.
You would totally have, 5 humans, 5 robots.
Yes, sir.
That impressed me.
I let people, once they come in, you get to pick what you want.
That's pretty cool.
You know?
Yeah, that worked. That worked. That impressed me.
Yeah.
Okay.